People have all different kinds of passions, and I just think that for one reason or another, probably because of what I experienced as a child, visiting galleries, looking at paintings, and the area in which I grew up, and the encouragement that I had to draw and paint and take photographs, compels me to paint now. I was born in 1970 in Hull. I grew up in a block of flats on Anlaby Road and Great Thornton Street, which is the HU3 area. The concrete, the bricks, the walls, the metal, the iron, the grills, the grates, the pillars, the doors, the wood, the big doors, the big buildings, the big cavernous spaces were incredible. I struggled to find words to describe how powerful, visually stunning, from the white concrete, the polished concrete, to the rough, dark grey graphite concrete, to the concrete floors, which, if you look carefully, of course, they all have colour and they all have texture and they all have surface. I'm 95% sure that that's what instigated my interest in contrast, in simple black and white paintings. I'm drawn to black and white paintings. I'm drawn to black and white photography purely because of the very white whites and the very black blacks, the very dark darks. And if I had to sort of think about where that could possibly have come from, I would have to say it was the darkness of the unlit tunnels, and then the shafts of light coming down, and that on the journey through the what we call the garages, but the tunnels, if you like, was the shift from very dark to very light. I've always been interested in what I call the isness of the material itself on which I'm painting and the paints that I'm using. Canvas has its own characteristics, that it can only be canvas, and I try and use the isness of those materials, what that material is, what that material does when paint is applied, or when it's left to weather, or when it's left to age, or when it's left just to be honest and have integrity of the material itself. I paint in silence. I don't have any music on or any background noise. I've tried working with music, ambient soundscapes or industrial or just, jazz or something that's conducive, what I believe is conducive to creativity and painting, but I prefer that silence just there. Unfortunately, when I was 6 weeks old, my dad passed away. My dad worked on the railways, and as a result, my mum, our family, were given free rail passes to anywhere in the country. We saw the very first graffiti art that was in this country, in London. I think some graffiti artists and breakdancers came over from America in the mid-80s. We went down to see that. I've seen, countless exhibitions, major exhibitions. We've visited theatres, I've seen music, I've seen performances, acting, theatre, that obviously I can feel it. It all goes into what I paint, yeah.